Many thanks for joining us on Ebro African News this afternoon. It is the 24th of February 2014. I'm Kamene Goro. Now we start off our bulletin in Somalia, where people in Mogadishu yesterday held a demonstration to protest against deadly attacks carried out by Somalia's Al-Qaeda-linked Shabab rebels. Now on Friday, Shabab claimed responsibility for a major suicide attack against the heavily fortified presidential palace, killing officials and guards in a fierce gun battle.
A huge car bomb exploded at the perimeter of the central Mogadishu complex, and a group of at least 9 suicide attackers breached the Villa Somalia compound, one of the best defended locations in the war-torn country. Somalia's president vowed that their attack would not impact on the government's efforts to stabilize the nation at the Horn of Africa.
As you can see, there were 9 attackers. 7 of them were dead, and 2 of them blew themselves up in their cars, and their remains are scattered all around here. The security forces managed to foil the cowardly and desperate act.
UN Special Envoy Nick Kay also condemned the attack. The attack comes amid an apparent upsurge of Shabab bombings in and around Mogadishu. The group, who also carried out last year's attack against the Westgate shopping mall in the Kenyan capital, once controlled most of the southern and central Somalia, but it withdrew from fixed positions in the ruined coastal capital 2 years ago. African Union troops, including large contingents from Uganda, Kenya and Burundi, have since recaptured the insurgents' main bases and tried to prop up Somalia's fledgling government forces. But a string of devastating Shabab attacks against foreign and government targets have shattered hopes of a rebirth for the war-ravaged capital and questioned speculation that the group was in process of imploding amid a fierce internal power struggle.
In North Africa, deposed Egyptian President Mohamed Morsi appeared in court on charges of conspiring with foreign groups as the trial continued in Cairo. Now the proceedings have been adjourned to 27th of February.
There was a strong security presence outside the court ahead of the second hearing in the trial that could find Morsi and his co-defendants receiving the death penalty if they're convicted. Lawyers for the deposed president withdrew in protest in the first court session on February the 16th, complaining that they could not hear their client speaking from inside the soundproof glass cage. The judge controls the microphone that allows defendants to be heard.
The defense team led by Salim Alawa withdrew in the last session because of the glass cage they had Morsi in, which caused problems. The team say they withdrew from just that one session itself. However, the judge decided they withdraw from the whole trial, so these are technical difficulties within the system itself. Myself and my colleague are the only 2 who did not withdraw, and we are here for defendant number 13, who has a big chance of being ruled innocent.
On that occasion, the judge ordered a lawyers syndicate to assign 10 lawyers to defend Morsi at the next trial hearing a week later. In what they call the biggest case of conspiracy in the history of Egypt, prosecutors say Morsi's Muslim Brotherhood hatched a terrorist plan in 2005 involving the Palestinian Hamas group and the Hezbollah. Hamas has dismissed the charges as fabrications and lies. The Brotherhood also rejects the allegations, saying it is a peaceful organization with no links to any violent group. After the 2011 uprising that ousted President Hosni Mubarak, the Muslim Brotherhood exploited the chaos to carry out attacks on security forces in the North Sinai and elsewhere. The prosecutors said the plot is aimed to establish an Islamic emirate in the North Sinai if Morsi had not been declared president after the 2012 presidential election.
Moving to western regions of Africa, Nigeria's former central bank chief Lamido Sanusi has described the president who ousted him as a simple man trying to do well who has been undermined by incompetent and fraudulent aides. Now, Sanusi, widely respected by economists in Nigeria and abroad, was suspended by President Goodluck Jonathan on Thursday over alleged financial misconduct, a move seen by many analysts as politically motivated.
In an interview in Lagos, Sanusi said many of the people advising Jonathan are sycophants who did not speak frankly about the extent of corruption in the government.
So when you sit with President Jonathan himself, you know, he he appears a nice, simple person who's trying his best to do his best. And now his greatest failing, obviously, is that he's surrounded by people who are extremely incompetent, who are extremely fraudulent, and who he trusts.
Sanusi has accused the state Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC, of misappropriating $20 billion, approximately 14.5 billion euros, allegations that earned him powerful enemies across the government.
I think everybody has known that NNPC was rotten. I don't think it's ever been as bad as this, but if you go to different reports by NITI, by Transparency International, I mean, NNPC is notorious as the most opaque oil company in the world.
Sanusi learned of his suspension while in Niger for a regional meeting. He immediately returned to Lagos, where intelligence agents from the Directorate of State Services, DSS, seized his passport. On Friday, he secured a temporary order from the Federal High Court in Lagos barring DSS agents or police from arresting him. He argued it would be too simple to describe his removal as payback for his attacks on NNPC. The list of his enemies may have built over the years, but the NNPC affair appeared to be the final straw.
I would like to hope that this process which we have started of taking this opportunity to improve governance and accountability in the oil sector should continue. If I'm sacrificed in whatever way, my freedom or my life in this process, if it does lead to better accountability, it will be well worth it.
Jonathan, who has led Africa's most populous country and the top oil producer since 2010, is expected to seek another term in elections next year, but must first overcome unprecedented division within his own party. When Sanusi was removed just 4 months before his tenure was set to expire, analysts voiced their concern that Jonathan was seeking to sideline an increasingly vocal critic of his government's record on corruption.
In Kenya, the Senate has threatened to deny county governments money to run their operations if the governors fail to appear before Parliament. In an interview with Ebru Africa's Hesbon Magambi, Senator Bill Okero, in what appears to be a protest against the recent court rulings, said that it will be hard to fund the counties without oversight.
We are very clear that when we vote for funds to be sent to the counties, we expect that the county governments, whose CEO is the governor, must be ready to account for those funds. I think if questions of accountability become problematic, clearly the Senate would feel constrained in releasing more resources to the counties.
The late Ebru African News anchor Rina Shivisi was laid to rest at her family home in Western Kenya. Ebru Africa was present on the sad day as the final goodbyes were said to a beloved colleague. Our reporter Hesbon Magambi has the details.
In a solemn ceremony attended by journalists, friends and relatives, Rina Shivisi was buried at her father's home in Bumira village, Western Kenya on Saturday. Somber songs filled the air as hundreds celebrated Rina's life. Friends and family members remembered the long and painful chain of events coming about 2 weeks after the family lost their father.
Rina was an exemplary daughter, always happy.
She was everything a mother would want in her daughter. She put her family first and encouraged them to reach for their goals. There is permanent life after death.
Which is a girl I envy. And I've always been telling my daughter I envy Rina kwa sababu Rina ni msichana ambaye amekuwa akirun maisha yake akiwa very responsible.
Colleagues from Ebru Africa TV also shared their experience of working with one of Kenya's rising stars in the media industry, eulogizing her as a loving, caring and hard-working colleague.
Alikuwa msichana yule ambaye anaweza kusukuma kazi.
She was hardworking. That's why we are here to bid her goodbye.
Pia nasi tuje hapa.
We accept God's will.
Kazi ambaye kama Mungu amesema ni hivyo, tukakubali na tuko hapa.
Rina alikuwa mtu ambaye katika
Rina carried out her duties diligently.
Vilivyo
kwa familia.
To the family and friends, may you find comfort in the Lord.
Mungu afariji.
She was a great person,
you couldn't afford to be just a colleague. Her genuine interest in people made her an immediate friend.
And she was one exemplary character. There will never be anybody else like Rina. And it absolutely breaks our hearts, but we just hope that her soul is at peace now.
Actually, in the industry, lost a great star. She was so good. And I know wherever she is, she's basically smiling at us.
Rina was a good girl. I mean, she was a friend. And Mom and the family, I would like just to encourage you that the Bible says, those who die in the Lord, hawajakufa, they are just asleep.
A time must come in this family for the wind to respect and listen to the voice of Jesus.
While addressing the mourners, the preacher urged everyone to prepare their ways as death was inevitable.
Rina's earthly journey came to an end here in Bumira village in western Kenya, where her remains were laid to rest. Friends and family say death might have taken her life, but not the fond memories they shared. Reporting for Ebro Africa News, I'm Esbon Mogambe.
Moving to Europe, the Ukrainian parliament, which decisively abandoned Yanukovych after loyalists defected, declared on Saturday that the president was constitutionally unable to carry out his duties and set an early election date for May 25th. The impeachment, which was backed by 328 of the 447 deputies, argues that Yanukovych abused his powers.
This was the scene in the Ukrainian capital Kiev on Saturday, when protesters were told in error that their beleaguered president Viktor Yanukovych had resigned. He hadn't stepped down. He was impeached by parliament following a week of bloody clashes, effectively toppled from power and in hiding. Then on Sunday, this grainy video appeared. It was released by a Ukrainian TV channel which says it shows Yanukovych leaving his suburban home near Kiev by helicopter just hours before his ouster. A man, a woman, a dog, and their luggage all board the helicopter and fly off. To where exactly, it's still not clear. What is clear, Parliament is exercising its power in his absence to form a new government. Early elections are scheduled for May. Opposition leader Vitaly Klitschko confirmed on Sunday he'll run for president.
For me, it's a question of reform for my country.
But do you see yourself as president?
If people decide that, I take responsibility.
That's a yes, then.
On Independence Square, the epicenter of the conflict in Ukraine, some tents were already dismantled on Sunday. But many protesters remained behind the barricades. They won't give up the square, they say, until there's a new president.
We should not destroy the barricades until we replace all authorities, under any circumstances. The beast is wounded, but we don't know what this wounded beast will be doing.
Crowds also remain on the streets in other towns and cities. That places pressure on Parliament to demonstrate its authority and to calm fears of a leadership split with the pro-Russian eastern part of the country, where the fallen president has his political base.
In matters sports, the 2014 Sochi Winter Olympics ended yesterday with bold praise and with Russia supreme on top of the medals table. Now here's a look back at 3 weeks of the sporting highs and lows.
A proud finish for the Olympic host nation with a haul of 33 medals, including 13 golds, meaning Russia came top of the table. Short track speed skater, Korean-born Russian citizen Viktor An won 3 golds and 1 bronze, making him the most successful athlete at the Sochi Games. Russia also won a first but controversial women's Olympic figure skating gold. Adelina Sotnikova was quick to brush off suggestions her surprise victory over South Korean defending champion Kim Yoo-na was the result of a voting stitch-up.
When I finished skating, my first thought was that I'd finally done what I had to do. I finished both programs and did them cleanly. That was the only thing I could think about. I knew I skated well, that I showed everything inside me. I showed emotions, and I could feel the music when I skated. I didn't feel it that well even a few months ago, but I did feel during this event.
Her success made up for Russia's bitter disappointment in the ice hockey with another quarter-final exit. Canada saw Sweden off 3-0 in the final, becoming the first side to retain the men's Olympic title since the Soviet Union in 1988. But Norway beat Canada to second place in the overall standings, with veteran biathlete Ole Einar Bjørndalen crowned the greatest Winter Olympian in history by taking a record 13th medal. US Alpine champion Ted Ligety, meanwhile, added a new medal to his country's collection.
You know, there's been so much really cool legacy of skiing in the United States, so, you know, to be the first gold medalist in giant slalom for the US is a pretty cool feeling.
Another alpine skiing first came when Swiss outsider Dominique Giesin won a dead heat in the downhill with Slovenian double Sochi medalist Tina Maze.
You need to make yourself a goal. Last year my goal was to win a globe and I did that, so this year my goal was to win a gold medal in Olympic Games. Now I have two, so it's more than I expected.
As Maze and other veteran champions bow out of Olympic competition, new talents are keen to take over. Michaela Schifrin, the youngest Olympic slalom champion in history at 18 years and 345 days, made her ambitions clear.
When I'm done, I hope that I can look back and say that I changed the sport, that I was innovative and created a new way of skiing and pushed women's ski racing to be faster and more athletic and more exciting for people to watch.
She's not the only young thing about the Games. New events like slopestyle and halfpipe skiing have injected fresh excitement and adrenaline, keeping the Olympic spirit flying high.
That story wraps up our bulletin for you this afternoon. Join me at 9 p.m. for our primetime bulletin and more news making waves across the world today. Many thanks for your absolutely scintillating company. I'm Kamene Goro, and do have yourself a lovely afternoon.
Newline Limited, your one-stop shop for elegant and comfortable office furniture. Newline responds to your expectations for office furniture in a modern language. We offer a 5-year warranty period including unit transfers within Nairobi. For more information, visit our showroom at Chester House, Lotus Street, Nairobi. Newline Limited, your success partner.
Floma, professional makeup.
Does your exterior complement your interior? Everyone needs a home that is inspired by nature. At Yenbo Limited, we offer durable, energy-efficient and affordable UPVC windows in attractive colors. Visit us at Wall Street Business Park off Mombasa Road. Yenbo UPVC windows, your desire, our challenge.
Newline Limited, we offer current, stylish, state-of-the-art kitchen and wardrobe appliances tailored to suit your preference. We offer unit transfers within Nairobi. Let your kitchen stand out today by visiting us at Chester House, Lotus Street. Your comfort and satisfaction comes first.
Floma, professional makeup.